Tylenol, acetaminophen. We've all heard it in the news recently, so I'm going to address some of the legal ramifications of what we're hearing in the news. You will not get a political opinion on this video. I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole, but I will address some of the questions that I got about the legal ramifications of what's going on with the announcement made by the Trump administration about the scientific study on acetaminophen and the use during pregnancy, which now is being suggested to be linked in some way to the diagnosis of autism. All right, let's start from the beginning. Acetaminophen is the scientific terminology. The Kenvue pharmaceutical company owns this product now. They bought it from Johnson & Johnson, which was the original manufacturer, in 2023. And they have taken a huge hit in stock value since this announcement. Now, what we have heard and what we know are as follows. We heard from Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. In the Trump administration, that the scientific study has in some way concluded that there's a possibility that the taking of acetaminophen during pregnancy can result in a diagnosis of autism, or at least in some way be linked to that. That is major news. Whether you agree with this administration or disagree with this administration, whether you believe the scientific study or you don't, I'm not addressing those things. But what I will address is the hypothetical that suggests that this is accurate information and what the likely fallout will be. Now, we've all heard of class action lawsuits, but what is a class action lawsuit? All right. A class action lawsuit is a lawsuit for usually personal injuries of some nature, but injuries that are shared by a large number of people. So what'll happen is the class of people, could be a few dozen, it could be a few hundred, it could be a few thousand, it could be 10,000, it could be more, will be certified by the court as an appropriate class. People that have similar injuries, similar situations that are analogous enough to be part of the same class, okay? That class will be certified and notices will be sent out to the general public. If you are a member of this class, please sign up, let us know so that we can help you. You'll see that in the news, you'll see that floating around, you can Google it, it's out there. If you are a member of that class, take a solid look at it and check out whether you are actually part of that class. Once the class is established and the lawsuit ensues, there will be a few named plaintiffs, people who were injured, that will sort of be used as the examples for the whole class. And the attorneys representing the class will pursue a lawsuit akin to a regular individual plaintiff pursuing a lawsuit. They will do discovery and they will determine what, if any, issues existed from the manufacturing of this product, from the warning labels on this product, from the efficacy of the product relative to the studies they did during the approval process, whether the company that manufactured it or purchased it knew or should have known about the dangers and told people about them. And you've seen this play out in society a handful of times. You've heard of widely used products that we all widely accepted as safe in our society that ended up not being safe, from asbestos to cigarettes to OxyContin to talcum powder. And the pharmaceutical giants that own them very often have shown themselves to be slow or reluctant to advise people generally about the dangers of the product. And that has resulted in major judgments and settlements in the hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars for the classes of people. And if it is the case, that'll be the first real scientifically accepted cause for the autism spectrum diagnosis, which we all accept recently has been significantly higher in diagnosis rate than it had been traditionally in the past. Now, there's all sorts of theories out there as why that happens. One is the science is better, that they're identifying it sooner, that they're having more therapies in place earlier, and that because we have a better ability to diagnose autism spectrum disorder, it gets diagnosed more. instead of being misdiagnosed like it was in the past. And that's why we have higher numbers. There's also a notion out there by some people that say that it could be genetic. That's something that people didn't know what it was historically. Now they do know what it is, and now it's being diagnosed that way. Another theory out there is that a lot of the vaccination schedule has resulted in such diagnosis. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I have no answer to that question. I know that all of these are just working theories by segments of people. But if this study is proven to be accurate, if the scientific community and the legal community come together and it ends up in a class action lawsuit, look out if you're part of that class, because you could benefit from, at least monetarily, at least financially, from any giant settlement or judgment in favor of the class. If you want to learn more about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the personal injury industry, subscribe to my channel and come back and watch more videos. And on these videos, I just like to say one more time, I am not expressing a political opinion. I am not giving any credence one way or the other to the study, because I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I'm not giving any political opinion or credence to the administration's announcement or not. I am not in a position to do any of that. All I am doing is answering some questions that I get on my page about the legal ramifications of such an announcement. So let's see what happens.